Hello, everybody. What's going on? It's Jacob Doodle here and Corey from at Canucks News Summaries. We are going to be going over the major talking points of the Vancouver Canucks in this training camp. It just started today, and we're talking about it right now. What's going on, Corey?
Just powered by root beer.
Beautiful. And actually, low key, Dr. Pepper Zero, literally one of the best drinks. I'm just
Yeah,
telling you.
it's good. When
So
I went
good.
on a trip to Japan, and I came back and root beer was on strike. There was no root beer I could find, so I was drinking a bunch of Dr Pepper Zeros.
I love Dr. Pepper Zero. I'm actually
It's
drinking it
good.
right now.
Yeah, it's good. That's like my backup.
All right, so we're going to be going over the lines right off the bat. This is easily the most hype part of what people are looking forward to seeing at the very beginning of training camp. Who's going to be playing
Overreact.
with who? So let's just start off. Let's just go in order.
Yeah.
Let's start talking about Jake DeBrusk, Elias Pettersson, and Brock Boeser. Looks like they're choosing to at least start off with DeBrusk over Kane on that top line. What do you think?
I think that's actually how that's gonna be to start the season, and I wouldn't be shocked if Besser it switches up a bit and maybe a Garland moves up there, because my main issue is Besser and DeBrusk are kind of the same flavor of player, like where they play, right? They're best
Mm-hmm.
around the net. DeBrusk is a little bit faster. Besser's better in the corners and has a bit better shot from further out. But otherwise, like they feast in the same areas, so you don't really have that puck retrieval guy on that line. So
Yeah.
maybe I guess you could switch up Kane, but the idea is Kane's going to open up space for Yeedle, and I kind of
Mm-hmm.
like that idea, that combination as well.
Personally, I really did think they're going to start it off with Kane, just because I think they wanted someone to protect PD on there. But I guess Filipino needs protection as well, which we're
Yeah.
going to be talking about that as well. And they want to see if Jake DeBrusk can have another decent season. He had a good
Mhm.
year. He scored a lot of goals, but I wouldn't. And he's consistently decent. Like he
Yeah.
wasn't
Yes.
incredible. He's just consistently good. He scored his goals. Didn't get a ton of points. He got 50 plus points. It's okay. Like he had a good season.
Yeah, 28
With Brock,
goals.
yeah, and 20, but like 28 goals, but like a lot of those are up front tip, like JVR type goals, which would great on the power play, right? And it's going to be interesting to see how our power play is going to be this year. So
Yeah.
overall, they're going to be starting off with them. The next line we have here, it's Archdeep Baines. We have Coots. He's getting a shot, which is
Yep.
really important to mention. And we have Sherwood. What do you think about that little line there?
That is basically everything from Group A and Group B, apart from the top two lines, is like a fun little blender of seeing who's going where, and this is one of them. Like, okay, they're giving Baines and Coots a shot with Sherwood to see what they have there. I think they're gonna audition Coots for as long as they can until they feel that it's no longer beneficial. Coots had some interesting comments today about
Mhm.
how he feels he can match the pace. He has no problem with the pace. He has no problem with that, but it's the strength. He has to go all out 100% on every forecheck, and it's wearing him down even in practice.
Mhm.
So like he's kind of suddenly acknowledging like, I'm not quite ready for this, but I'm getting a good taste, and now I have a good understanding of the weight I need to put on and that cardio I need to build up to.
Well, what's really interesting is they put him with Vet there with Sherwood, and what's Sherwood's going to go around hitting everything that moves, for
Yeah.
checking for him. But sorry, I just had something stuck in my throat there. I apologize. Interesting point here. David Quadrelli with the Canucks conversation with Harman Dial there. They talked about how Coots in person looked real solid. That he was
Oh yeah.
skating a lot better than a lot of people thought he was. Like even better they thought he was. And he can really move the puck. And he had a couple of real good shifts and real good shots. And they were real surprised and pleasantly surprised. These are people who had eyes on them. So that's pretty interesting to see and hear. So if he gets a legitimate shot, man, maybe stamina wise, he's not ready yet, but he's probably not ready in general. But hey, they're giving him
Yeah.
a shot. So why not, right? Why not give it a it's early in training camp too, and it's gonna be preseason. You'll get a game at least or two, probably. We'll see. So interesting line. I don't mind that at all. Atu Ratu, Kraftsov, and Carlson, and you wanted to talk about Kraftsov because, yeah, well, you go ahead.
Well, I think it. So Batch has Kratzoff and Ratu. Kratzoff at center and Ratu on wing, but they were rotating back and forth throughout it, and that makes sense in terms of if Kratzoff is going to make the team. Probably the best way for him to make it is with center utility, right?
Mhm.
If he can show he can play a bit of center and is not strictly confined to the wings, that gives him a leg up on Baines or Carlson or a lot of other guys he's going to be potentially fighting a spot for, because they are pretty strictly wingers and have always been. And Ratu has until last year pretty frequently actually played better hockey on the wing than center. Last year he unlocked something, figured out how to play center, and his faceoffs are so vital that's a thing you could potentially, he can be like a winger center if that's what you want to do. Guy who takes faceoffs and shifts to the wing during the game. But I think it's just kind of an interesting thing, and it's one of those things where you throw it into a blender. Let's see what happens on day 2, day 3, and whatever, and in the games,
Yeah.
obviously.
And it's going to be really important for Carlson to have a good start to training camp too, because he's one of the guys who people haven't really locked in on the team. I don't think he's a lock. I don't think he's a lock when you have a guy like Ulrichsen who's pushing, and he had a great prospects camp and or prospects games, and now if he's obviously not getting a big opportunity based on where I'm seeing him on the lineup there, but if he does get an opportunity. It would be nice to see. I'm not saying they're directly competing each other, but all those bottom guys are all kind of competing against each other. Carlson has the edge up right now, and same with Atu Ratu. Those guys have the edge up because they've already played and they've looked good. So really interesting. And then on that fourth line there, please help me pronounce his name. McEachern. Pettersson, who actually had a really good prospects camp or prospects games, and then Ulrichsen again, who had a really good prospects game. So that's a pretty decent line there for the little depth position. Fun. But hey, Pettersson and Ulrichsen, that's a combination you might see in the late future of the Canucks development cycle. But it's something to look at. It's pretty exciting, but we can pretty much move off from that. I think we kind of.
Ulrichsen's a fun guy. I'm excited to watch him in Abbotsford this year because he's going to take a while to develop. Like, he's so big, he has all those traits, and he's figured out how to be mean in the North American way, and he's really impressive in camp and he's really impressive games. But he's not consistent at all. I just like watching him develop because he's such a.
He has player. His hands though are a lot better than a lot of people might think. Like for his thing and his skating, this is one of those guys. I love the eye test, right? I go by my eye test. I've been wrong sometimes for sure, but I've also been extremely right. Like Jalen Chatfield, for example, I'm just banging the drum saying you got to let this guy get minutes because this guy's a lot better than people think, and he's had a good career. And Forsling as well, another guy but this is obviously more of a forward here in this situation. So. You know what? He passes my eye test, so I'm curious if he passes a lot of people's eye test. And trust me, we could use some more size in the lineups. We lost Joshua in for the trade as well, so definitely something to look at. And one of those small little battles going on in camp, or big battles, but low chance I would say.
It's really it's not really a battle. It's more of like his first pro season, so this is like the lead into that first professional season.
And then we have Marcus Pettersson there with Myers, which is really interesting because that's most likely what you're going to have for the pairing this year. And Pierre-Olivier Joseph with Kudryavtsev. Again, a vet with a young guy. Just show him the ropes a bit. And then we have Forbert on the left side and Tom Willander on that right side, which is something really nice to see. And he has an opportunity right there. That could be a potential pairing if he makes the team. And then we have Minio and Schultz.
Yep. Just don't pronounce that.
I'm not even going to pretend to know much about Schultz, so I do apologize for that. So what do you think overall? I guess Marcus Pettersson, Myers, we kind of know what to expect there.
Yeah.
Forbert Willander, what do you think? How's that going to go?
I mean, it's both of those middle pairings are young guys paired with vets, right? Listening to Quads and Harmon talk about the training camp, like they were raving about P.O. Joseph because this is the perfect kind of scenario where he looks fantastic, right? Yeah. And that's
the Juleson story, right? Like Juleson looked great in preseason training camps every single year, and he always makes a team. And he had moments, I guess.
Well, and that's kind of what you want from your 8th, 7th, 8th guy. You want them actually really good at practice. They know the systems, and that you can slot them in. And this is a case of because Willander wasn't great in the prospect showcase. He was okay, but he wasn't great. You want a little bit more from him. And
all right, next. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I love Kudryavtsev, and I think he's. I think he's low key gonna end up being the number one call up for the Canucks this year. Like say Mancini, Willander, and Kucherov all go down, and my hot take would be Kucherov is actually going to be like the guy they call up because he's going to be the steady Eddie.
Oh, also because Mancini is probably gonna get traded. I have a hot take. I don't know if this is a hot take, but after watching that press conference, I am more sure than ever within the next 2 months, probably a month and a half, the Vancouver Canucks will be making a trade for a second line center. I am so confident in that after hearing that. They are not done. I knew they weren't gonna be done, but they are literally going out there saying, we're open for business. We have the assets, we have the potential, we need a second line center. Give us a phone call. Teams, call us, right?
When you're ready, we'll be waiting.
What's that? We have cap space too. Feel free. Come on. Give us a phone. McTavish, is that you? You want to come? Here? All right. Thomas Drance mentioned the Group B. So the main, it's an interesting one. So Kane with Hito and Lekkerimäki. So what I get out of that is protection right off the bat. Kane, a shooter. Hito can skate. And Lekkerimäki's a shooter. Not a lot of playmaking there, but that's kind of my biggest worry out of that line specifically. That's why I do think a guy like Garland potentially will be on that line, and that's the top spot unless Lekkerimäki has himself just a crazy camp, right? And he makes the team. But you know what? They're giving him a shot with some really good hockey players. So it's going to be interesting to see. So what do you think about Kane, Hito, and Lekkerimäki there?
I like the Kane Yedel combination. It's protection and a good digger in the corners, and Kane's just got a good shot. Kane's a good player, and Lekkerimäki, they're giving him a chance. Like if he's going to make the team, this is how he needs to make the
top
team.
Top 6, right? Yeah,
top 6 in that spot as a sniper. But like you said, not a lot of playmaking. I think Garland's going to wind up on one of the top 2 lines just because he's such a play driver, and for as tiny as he is, he's so good in the corners and puck retrieval. And both those lines kind of lack that.
But what's also interesting here is with the Hoglander, Blueger, Garland line, you know, you can flip Hito right down there or right up there and move those other guys move up. You know what I mean? I can see a line of Hoglander, Hito, Garland like that. I can definitely see something like that as well because Garland's a gritty forechecking player who has skill. Hoglander's a gritty forechecking player who has skill and pace. And then you have Hito there who's also kind of what is he? What is Hito exactly? Like he has skill and he's fast up the neutral zone. He needs to keep his head up, by the way, because he does skate with his head down a lot. He's gotten caught a few times in his career, and obviously we want to have him healthy this year more than anything. We got to keep him healthy. So, but right now they're going to just put Blueger there. I don't think that's going to be permanent. Personally, I don't think that's going to happen like that. But what do you think about that line?
Yeah, I don't know about this line, and it's mostly Blueger. I love Blueger. I love him as a kind of an elite 4th line center. Not elite, but like one of the better, just solid 4th line centers who gets number 1 PK time in the league. And putting him with Garland and Hoglander kind of neuters that. I actually a little disappointed that Ratu's not there, but I think that'll happen eventually.
Yeah,
so it's so early, and I think that's just a more interesting line. But there's so many guys that you're just trying out, like. You know, we haven't even talked about the next line yet, and that's a whole other NHL player on that line.
Well, Drew O'Connor was with Sasson and Klimovich. What's interesting with Sasson is they said that they think of him as a winger, and
that's what Drance has said, and that's what they've done in the past. And so maybe that's a Tocchet thing because he's the one ultimately kind of more making that decision. But and Drance pointed this out in his article today that they put Sasson at center and played him at center.
Interesting. Yeah. So I want to see him at center. I know he's not the best face-off guy, but I just think he's really good with his transitional speed. Man, another guy I hate I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. My eye test, I see it. I see an NHL player in Sasson. I know he might not be the best defensively, but he's so young still. Or not so young. He's pretty young still. What is he, 24? What is he?
23.
23. So he's not. Yeah, so he's getting there, but I watch him play, and I'm like, dude, this guy can play in the NHL. Even as a 4th line winger, this guy can make it for sure. So, and Drew O'Connor is going to be Drew O'Connor. Not really too much to say about that. Penalty killer guy. He's going to help us out.
Fast and big.
Fast, right?
Fast
and Klimovich, you know what? He had a nice bounce back year in Abbey, and if he needs just kind of ish. Well, yeah, he had a bounce back year. I think that's fair.
He had a better year this year than the previous year, and he scored some huge goals in the playoffs.
Yes.
And I don't see any actual NHL not traits, because the traits are there. Any NHL ability. He doesn't think the game the way an NHL player thinks. But like you look at him,
thinking wise, but like skill wise, like he has hands, he has a shot, he has to hit the net more, but like he has NHL skill. He just doesn't.
That's what I said. I said he has NHL skills.
I see.
He doesn't know how to use them. Like
he doesn't know how to use them.
Doesn't know how to use them.
Yeah, well, another guy was like he's absolutely killing it right now in the KHL. Hey, what's his name? What's the Sprong, right? Another guy who he actually put up points in the NHL but couldn't play defensively whatsoever.
Quad A players. They're quad A.
He's going to light up the KHL too. You know he's going to get a shot in the NHL for sure. LeBay, Amon, and Stillman. Not really too much about to say this. Kind of just threw him out there. It's not a good sign that Amon's not getting any like players to play with. We'll see, man. He needs to have a big camp. And let's not forget, I think last year he did have a big camp. He was in shape too last year, and he made that team. If I'm not mistaken, he made that team on our fourth line C. I'm like almost certain he did. Maybe I'm tripping. Chat or comments, you guys can let me know below. But I'm like almost certain he made that team. He was fit. I remember all those comments. But yeah. But
I
not really too much to say about that. If you know what, if he got waived, then I'm completely
I thought he
wrong.
got waived early in the fairly early in the season. Like he might have made the team, but like I thought he got waived pretty early on. He might have got waived right away.
One of the comments will let us know for sure. We don't need to look too deep. We're gonna be looking at it for like 20 minutes. Where is it?
Where's Niels Amon?
All right. For defense, we had there Quinn Hughes with Hronek. Do we really need to say anything about that? We know what we're gonna expect. That's gonna be the top pairing. Quinn Hughes is gonna be the best defenseman in the NHL this year. Yes, I'm saying that. I think he's going to be just a little bit better than Cale Makar this season. And I don't even think that's even that hot of a take, to be honest. I see him getting 90 to 100 points this year. I think he's going to be a monster. And then we have DPD there with Alkos, which is an interesting pairing. And Mancini's on the right side there with
Nizov.
Thank you so much. And then Arnson Elite. So what do you think about the defense overall?
I at first I was like, oh, it's disappointing that DPD is not getting a more prominent role. And then I kind of thought about it more and like, oh, he's the veteran they're pairing with the rookie guy. So it's the reverse of Group A, where you have Willander and Kucheriyatsev with the vets, and they're treating him like the vets. Like, oh, that's the way they're already looking at it. That is fascinating.
Wow, that's actually I never even thought about that. And you know what? Some people said Alkos wasn't that like great. I don't know. I thought he was pretty good, and I thought he was pretty good at the prospects games. To be honest, before he got hurt, and obviously his injury is not so bad because he was on the ice. So
he's a fascinating player, Alkos. Like he has all the traits you want. It's just he's going to be a bit of a project to put him together. He's a big right shot. He's a Vancouver boy.
I'm curious what this means for Mancini too. Again, it's so early in camp. They just want to put some guys. He might just be the odd man out in that scenario.
Yep.
And then Artson, you know what? He also had a pretty good, Did I say his name wrong?
No.
Right?
I know Arnston. I just find him funny.
And he had a good prospects. He had some good prospects games too. So actually, a lot of our guys, like, other than Willander, had got beat a couple of times, and then DP got beat once. But then a lot of the other guys, like, they looked pretty good. And I think because they need to, right? They want to make the end of it. They're probably going at it a lot harder than some of these other guys. But I actually thought DP was still pretty good. And Willander was up and down. But I did think he had a few decent games. And he had one real good shift where Willander went behind. Like, he won a puck battle, dumped it in behind net. Rick Tocchet would be so pleased. Then he chased it. Right, behind, won another battle behind the net of Seattle's goalie, and then ran it around the boards there to the other defenseman, and the other defenseman moved it across, and they had a shot on net, and then he busted it all the way back. He should have probably got a change, couldn't make it. And then he won another puck battle, and then they cleared it. So Willander did have a pretty fun shift there near the end of that second game there. I thought that was interesting. All right, so next topic of conversation here, Thomas Drance, some odd observations. Been a teaching day in day one, systems focused if not a full install. Foot wants to amp up defensive pressure. Wingers tighter to the blue line, outnumbering down low. Looks like a swarm to me. Emphasizes on fourth man's ice plus D joining the rush. So, right off the bat, I'm going to let you start this off.
So, basically what they're looking at doing is just, we're going to overwhelm you, get the puck, and then rush up the ice as a 4-man unit. And then if the defenseman gets caught, the system, or what they're training, what the guys to do, the wingers, is to have the final winger rotate back into the D zone so they're not caught outnumbered all the time. The main thing the Canucks are looking at is, we have $1 billion spent on our goaltending tandem, and so we're going to leverage the hell out of that. If we have to give up a few more odd man rushes or a few more sustained pressure, like times of pressure, then we're going to counteract that by getting more for ourselves as well, and we're going to have our goalies try to bail us out more. And the idea is, we have 2 goalies that we consider basically 1A, 1B, and we just roll them out, like they're going to bail us out too.
So Corey, let me put you on the spot just a little bit here. Who do you think are the 3 best teams in the NHL right now?
3 best teams in the NHL: Panthers, Oilers, and Golden Knights.
Golden Knights, Carolina, something like that. And all those teams.
Not Carolina. Nope. I'm a Carolina hater. Nope.
Oh, I see.
Nope.
I want to mention, though, other than maybe the Oilers or those other teams, all of them play extremely high pressure D along the boards and up the middle of the ice, and put pressure on players when they're coming up with the puck, and they're try to force turnovers and forcing them to go deep, especially Florida. Florida loves to put pressure up on that neutral zone, put pressure up on the puck holder. And this is all how they run their penalty kill as well. The board goes around. They immediately charge the guy, like charge him. They don't care if he makes a perfect spin pass to the next guy. They don't care. They charge him because they know that if they go out and be a pressure, they're going to force mistakes. Either helps with them create an opportunity, a new rush on the other side, or it just makes them clear the point and mistakes happen, right? This is kind of what the Canucks are doing. And when we talk about the next point here, we're going to be talking about joining, or they mentioned like joining the rush as well, keeping the pressure going, passing the puck in front of the players, get more transitional play. We need more transitional play to create offense. Yes, that's going to cost some odd man rushes. Please don't just go back to our defensive tight structure, like the pocket structure. If something goes there, you got to learn, because the best teams in the league, Tampa Bay, Colorado, Florida, Edmonton. My God, Edmonton. Look at how Edmonton plays with the rush. It's not just McDavid and Draisaitl, man. And look at how Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is not the fastest guy in the world. Look at how he moves the puck across the thing.
It's mostly those two, because those guys all play together anyway. It's their 2 lines, and that's how those play. Like,
but even a guy like Zach, even a guy like, I know he's hurt last year, even a guy like Zach Hyman, right? Like Zach Hyman still skates in the middle of the ice, then he goes and charges on the forecheck, right? These are guys that this is how the Canucks want to run a system, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can pull this off with the talent they have. And a lot of it's going to come up to health, right? And back, guys like Petey having big bounce back years. Philip Hedl strung together, this is from Thomas Drank, a pair of dominant reps, 1-on-1 and 2-on-2 down low battle drills. First, he beat Bluger to puck and then beat him out wide. And then he beat Ty Young with a low bar wrist shot, which is nice. And then he seagulled the puck, which I have no idea. What's a seagull? I've never heard that reference before. Plus, circled the net twice for a wraparound goal. So, Philip Hedl apparently has looked good on day 1. And we're going to be talking about Pettersson as well. He also looked pretty good, apparently, on day 1. But Philip Hedl looked good on day 1. What's your expectations this year for him?
We did a whole video on that, so people should watch that video.
That's a fantastic idea, guys. You should go find it on my channel there. I've been posting videos literally almost every single day. And also, leave a like and subscribe to this one and all my future videos. Guys, it's unbelievable. We're almost at 500 subs. The hockey season hasn't even really started yet. And I thought I was going to get like 200 by the time. We're almost at 500, which is absolutely bonkers. So thank you for that, guys. Drop a like and let's rock and roll. So, yeah, Filipino, look good. All right, Rob Williams, Canucks coach foot on Pettersson today. That practice he had today, I thought it was one of his best practices he had to of all last year, and I told him that he's ready to come in here early with Demmer. It's something he never did before, which is awesome to see. Is this a coach just being like just positivity, just keeping them in a positive mindset? Or is this actually Pettersson going out there and looking as good as people are saying he's looking, or a bit of both?
People say he looked good. Like that's basically it. Like reading everything from Drance and Dial and Quads and Patrick Johnson, and he looked good. He looked more like himself at practice. Like the big thing with Pettersson, I was thinking of this. With Hughes, you have a floor, right? So Hughes sets the floor of where the team is. How Pettersson is going to be sets the ceiling, right? Like that's the thing. And so Pettersson has to be good for them to even have a ceiling. Otherwise, like last year, they basically hit the floor and that's it. And like there wasn't even a ceiling; it was just an open roof construction.
The thing about Pettersson is we've already seen him be an elite hockey player in the NHL. It's not he's like he didn't lose it. For some reason, he signed a contract and decided to take last year's training camp off. Was it an injury? Was it the tendonitis thing? Or was it laziness? Who knows? We don't know. I'm not in his head. Maybe it was the drama with other stuff. Who knows? Maybe he just was chilling. He was just enjoying the summer. I don't know. Didn't come prepared. This was told by Rutherford. He said he didn't come prepared. It was by Alvin. He didn't come prepared. Tocchet said he didn't come prepared. Everybody said he didn't come prepared. This year, everybody is saying he's come prepared. He's ready. And I'll be honest, I watched a few clips. Guy skating real well, like way better than he was skating last year. And that's, again, it's just the day one in training camp. But like you can see, like just the way he's moving, it just we just didn't see that last year. Maybe it was the injury more than anything, but it's just something we'll keep an eye on. Also, he said he had an interview a little bit later on. He talked about his shot. He said it got better. Obviously, we know that he put on some pounds, so he should be a little stronger. I think the biggest thing about PD this year is he's coming into this season wanting to prove a point, wanting to make a difference, and going out and being a leader of this team alongside Quinn Hughes and the rest of the crew. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does this year. Personally, I think he's going to have a great year, and I am definitely going to be picking him in my fantasy hockey pools. Hopefully, I can get him quite late, actually, or quite middle. That would be quite nice, actually, just for the side part.
Confidence is key. If he's got confidence going in, he's going to have a good year, and that even speaks to these comments from Foot, right? Like you hype up your players, you give them confidence.
So next up from Randeep Janda there. Early focus on attacking the neutral zone. We talked about that. And activating the defense to generate offense from Adam Foote. Again, get that attacking mentality movement of the neutral zone, because that was killer for us last year. It was awful. Like we could not. We were so static. It was brutal. And we cannot have that again this year. We're going to be in trouble if we do. Remember, last year we had JT Miller too, man. Like, I understand our defense is worse, but we had JT Miller up there. We don't have JT Miller this year. So
Miller was like garbage to start the year, though. He was bad.
But still, JT
was bad. He was a negative in a lot of games. He is. The year before, you could cut, but last year he was so bad that like, I was watching games. I'm like, okay, he's got to have a neck injury. He's got to have something, because there's no explanation for him to be playing this bad.
Captain, you're talking about Captain JT Miller here.
I'm talking about the successor of Mark Messier of the Rangers.
Oh, no. Wow, that is a crazy take. All right, next up, asked about the PK. Adam Foote mentioned that he thinks Brock Boeser could kill penalties because of how smart he is. Fascinating. This is a new tidbit completely. So he thinks Brock Boeser can kill penalties. So the obvious thing every Canuck fan is thinking is, oh, he's too slow. He can't kill penalties, too slow. Okay, but we have seen some slow players kill penalties really well and do an effective job at it. Now, I don't personally know if Brock Boeser has killed penalties throughout his entire career. I really don't even know if he's even had one PK shift. I've watched oh my God, I've watched like 99% of games every single year. Only games I miss is I'm working. So I don't remember him seeing on the PK unless it was like, like all our main pounded guys were hurt or something. He would jump on. So interesting. I know everybody wants to be Mr. Positive, and me. I am Mr. Positive.
I've got things to say. I've got a lot of things to say.
I know it's okay. I'm Mr. Positive, but I gotta say, I want to do a wait and see approach. I want to see this in preseason, see how it works, and then we'll get this started. Rock and roll.
Okay, so one thing, speed doesn't matter in penalty killing. It doesn't. It's a bonus. It's not a thing that you actually need. Pius Suter is one of the best penalty killers in the league last year. Dude is molasses. Okay.
Quickly, Suter actually, and to mention this, Suter is slower than and from his edge numbers is actually slower than Boeser.
There's even more. Dakota Joshua, one of the best penalty killers in the league, slow. Dude is I was just gonna say he's moving on ice, but yeah, that's what they all do. That's a core function of this game. They are on ice. But Taylor Pyatt was actually a really good penalty killer. Not the fastest dude alive. You don't need speed when you're a forward penalty killing or even a defenseman. What you need though is intelligence, or you need to be I don't want to say this. I can try to say this in the nice way possible. Physical traits and an ability to just learn a simple system. Noah Juleson, for example, great penalty killer. Me big, me get puck, me shoot puck out. That's what you do, Noah. Good. And then for the centers and the wingers, and center and winger is kind of the same thing on the PK anyway. It's learning how to rotate. It's reading everything right, and then knowing when you're switching over. The speed doesn't matter because it's all you just need to get the puck out. You don't actually need to care about doing anything offensively. So that's the whole thing with PKing. Doesn't matter. Can Boeser do this? Absolutely. Boeser's a really, really smart player. He understands and he can learn a system. The issue is, should he? You have a lot of these bottom six guys. You have a lot of grinders. You have even other guys who can do it. They had Garland do it last year. There's no reason to put Boeser out there. A guy who has a tendency to get injured, a guy who tends to get tired as the season goes on. There's no reason to really put him out there other than in an emergency basis. I just don't really get the logic for it. I don't really understand why.
Maybe they just want to, we all know what Brock Boeser is, right? He's a scorer, right? He's a smart scorer, streaky kind of scorer. Maybe they just want something more from his game if they're going to be paying him for the next 5-6 years.
Yeah, but you just don't. All you're doing is if you put him on the PK, you're going to just tire him out for the rest of the game, rest of the season. There's no real reason to do that.
What if he's good at
it? So is a fourth liner. It's one of those things where I don't care if Brock Boeser is good at PKing. I want Brock Boeser to score me 40 goals. That's what I want him to do, and he's not going to do that when he's on the PK. So those are precious minutes that are being wasted, in my opinion. What this reads as last year in training camp, they put Brock Boeser as center because they wanted a right-handed center, thinking he's smart, he can win faceoffs, he's a strong guy, and he can't do it. It's this time of year where what else can Brock Boeser do? Every year they do this. They conjure up these ideas of Brock Boeser can do more, and then they go, "Oh, he can't." And great, fine. This is fine. This is the time to do it.
Let's not forget, you have him at 70 points and 35 goals. I think you said.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're a big fan of Brock Boeser, and he's saying this.
I like,
and he's hating on his penalty kill potential ability.
Absolutely, because you could just put Sherwood or Carlston or Ratu or McEachern or Oma or anyone else who's paid league minimum and get them to block shots with their face. I don't want Boeser out there blocking a shot or getting in the lane or getting himself tired. Let that big man go out there and tip in some goals and take some shots and just mug for the camera with that hair and smile.
All right, next up from Jeff Pettersson, who were Canucks Demko on playing his way onto Team USA for the Olympics. My focus is on the Canucks and Game 1, but I truly believe if I play up to my standards, I'll be on that team. I love the message. I love the mentality. Yep. He seemed really happy. He was laughing, smiling throughout. He seemed calm and chill and really enjoying to be happy. I think he's healthy, and it's going to be great to see if he can have that big bounce back year, because when Demko is at his best, he is one of the best goalies in the league, bar none.
when Demko is at his best, the Canucks are a playoff team.
Yeah.
That's been proven to be true. Like there's the bubble year, not the bubble year, but like the COVID year, and then 2 years ago, when you have like world beater Demko, you are a playoff team. Like he can just carry you there, apart from everything else.
Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're going to be doing a bunch of videos throughout training camp, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. If you want to help us get to 500 subscribers, hit that subscribe, like this video, comment. I want to know what you guys think. And also have a great and lovely day, everybody. Corey, thanks so much for joining me, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Take care, guys.